showtime.
Hey, Amir, how you doing, buddy? Great to see you.
Please subscribe to sharonatsea Travel. Thank you. Bye. Peace.
And peace to you, Maxwell. Peace to you, my friend. If I could tell you guys how many times we've tried to get Maxwell to do an updated ending clip for the intro, to no avail, you would laugh hysterically at it. As he grows older, he gets more shy and quieter. And when we say, hey, just come on and say, don't forget to subscribe to sharonatsea Travel, he just freezes up.
Yeah.
It's the funniest thing.
Well, good evening, everyone. Sorry, starting to lose my voice a little bit. So I don't usually get sick on cruises, but I came back, I guess, this time with kind of a little cruise crud.
You got a little crud?
Yeah.
I feel like $1 million. I'm just saying. But you, and not to mention, you've been talking nonstop since you got home.
Yeah.
I mean, literally. Either you're yelling at me to put my stuff away in the right place, or you're talking to people about cruises, booking cruises, and all kinds of stuff. So it has been a whirlwind, to say the least, but we are excited to be here tonight. Welcome to the Monday Night Live Show. If it's your first time here, if you're a new subscriber, thanks for joining us. We try to go live on Monday nights as often as we can to talk a little cruising. Lately, we've had a lot to talk about between our Europe trip not too long ago and now our first cruise on Holland America, which was it was exciting. It began exciting. It was still exciting. We had a great time. And so that's what we kind of want to talk about tonight. Let's just see. Do we have it? Can you guys hear us? Can you see us okay? What is the what's the verdict out there? Poor Sharon, the cruise code is no fun. Hang in there, you'll pull through. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, Nancy.
A special shout out to Nancy. Make sure you go check her out on her YouTube channel extraordinaire, Nautical Nurse Nancy. She's got a new hot video out talking about getting kicked off the ship. And Nancy, I have not watched the whole thing yet. I'm still trying to figure out which ship it might be, but I'm gonna figure it out. Richard Van Aaron said, "How's the new boss treating you?" She's a little rough. I've already put in 3 emails to Human Resource, and I'm waiting to hear back from them to see what can be done about the treatment that's going on around here. So the Tony versus Jamie shuffleboard. I'm not sure. We still need to finalize the air hockey, I think, and we totally missed the boat on the Spirit.
Yeah.
Totally missed the boat on that. I didn't even think of it once. We were so engulfed in the Lido Olympics. Yeah. So let's see. Pam asked the question. My hubby wants to know if Arizona is hotter than some recent cruises. Yes,
well,
a lot hotter.
Hotter than our recent cruises. Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Although things did get a little hot, if you know what I'm talking about. We had a lot of free time on our hands on that Holland America, didn't we? Yes, I just got punched under the table. You didn't see it, but I swear it's happened. Yes, get a hold of my union rep. Thanks, Crazy Cat Traveler. We appreciate that. So listen, what we want to do tonight is kind of talk a little bit about our experience with the Holland America cruise. But first off, before we go anywhere else, we didn't get a chance to really say anything about it last week. We were engulfed in the cruise, and we didn't really know how to say it. But there's a lot going on in Hawaii right now. We love Hawaii. We had been to Hawaii 2 years ago. Had an amazing stay there, not on Maui, but on one of the other islands. But
boy, there's several years ago. It was actually before I met Jamie. It was a long time ago. I was in Maui and in that same area, Lahaina. Right there. So yeah,
it is unbelievable. So listen, to anyone out there who's being affected, friends, family, anyone in the cruising community, anyone that follows the channel. We're just thinking of you. We are wishing the best. We're hoping the best for you. And man, that is just a tough deal.
It's devastating.
It's always a challenge when something horrible is happening in a part of the world, a part of the country or whatever. And then we're sitting there on a cruise and we're like, hey, look at this buffet spread we're at. And by the way, gee, we feel really, it's a tricky thing. So we just want to take a minute to say that, yes, we're thinking of everyone and we're praying. Our heart goes out. You're right. I'm seeing the comments there in the chat right now. It is very sad, and I mean, like most places, I'm sure they'll bounce back, maybe come back bigger, better, stronger.
It'll take a while.
Yes, it really will. It really will. So it is just wild and crazy. So Maui, we're thinking of you. Lahaina, anybody else that's affected, it was a bummer. It was a bummer. Marilyn Dillon, glad to hear your friend made it out safely. And so that's the deal. So we want to touch base on that real quick before we went any further. And also, we do have to mention Happy birthday, Scott McNeil.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Scott.
Yes. So Sharon, we know you like to sing happy birthday to anyone who has a birthday in the chat. So
I will not be singing tonight.
1, 2,
Sorry.
3, and boom, hit it. Okay, sorry, Scott. Maybe next year we'll get you. We'll make a note of that we owe you for next year, my friend. Let's see. Yes, everyone's commenting on Maui. That's a tough deal. All right, so getting back to the topic at hand, Sharon, what did we do last week?
Gosh, well, we got on Holland America, Koningsdam, and
Yes.
I don't know. We had really high hopes for this. We've heard awesome things about Holland America, how great it is, the food. It's the best cruise for Alaska. Now, I will say, I would definitely recommend it for Alaska. It is a great. There were some things that they did on that cruise that they don't do on all of the other cruise lines. Mm. And one other thing about Holland America is they have priority when they get to the Alaska ports on where they get to dock and things like that. So they get the best spots for docking there. Like Norwegian, actually, in Ketchikan, Norwegian docks way the heck out there, not even near any of the other ships. And then they have to tender and take a shuttle actually into town. So that's kind of... So anyways, but they do have some priority with that. They're in the port. Usually the times that they're in the ports are longer, so you have more time to explore.
That was really interesting. In Ketchikan, we found that out. I mean, HAL's been going there for over 15 years, so depending on who's in port that day, they get the priority, and you might be stuck at the end of the line or at a place that you don't really want to dock. So that was wild to find out. Some
cool features like the when we were going through Glacier Bay, they have the Ranger on. You could turn it on the TV, so if you're sitting on your balcony with the door open, you could actually hear everything she's saying while you're just sitting on your balcony. You didn't have to get out outside in the front of the ship like a lot of people go out there, especially if you have an interior cabin. You need to go out there to hear things and see things. So you can hear it all right from your cabin. So we were able to stay on our balcony and kind of stay warm, because it wasn't as cold on our balcony as, the front of the ship where we looked on the TV screen and there's people down there with their jackets on and the wind's blowing and they're all cold.
That's right. We were in our shorts and our t-shirt. Daniel Fields made a comment. Daniel, real quick. So, not every time will NCL go to their own little area, but if there's no room at the main port, like in Ketchikan, NCL had a dock that they actually built from an older area. They, I guess, bought up the land or they're leasing the land, and they built it so that if everything's full, they end up going, parking out of the way. Yeah. And we actually literally saw their ship, and it's probably about 12 minutes away from downtown Ketchikan in this situation. So
I was surprised it was so far.
Yeah. Richard Bandanaran said when we got to Ketchikan on HAL, we had to tender in. Hey, I wonder if you tendered in on the lifeboats, because we saw some lifeboat tendering going on in Juneau on another cruise ship. I think it was on a Princess ship, so I wonder how that goes. All right, so listen. So let's not get too far off track. Let's cover a few things first.
Skagway.
What's that?
Skagway.
That was. What did I say? Juneau? Mm-hmm. My bad. I get confused. Juneau, Skagway. It's all Alaskan. All right, so really quick. First things first. Sharon, we wanted to do a full disclosure about this cruise. I'm not going to ramble on about it, but I just want to be clear and say that this cruise was something that Sharon earned through the host agency that she uses. Mm-hmm. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Do you want me to say it to you?
Well, yeah. So basically, we didn't pay for this cruise. We just paid for our flights to get there. So, but we feel like we could give an honest opinion. It wasn't something that was sponsored by the particular cruise line where, then they want you to say good things and only good things about them. So.
Yes, it was from the host agency. So we're not indebted to Holland to do say anything in particular. We can be totally honest, and they're not asking anything of us. Yeah. And we're not trying to
besides
ask,
the host agency, multiple cruise lines and vendors all were responsible for putting this retreat together. Yes. There were days where we met with different vendors, cruise lines, and people at the cruise lines, and got a lot of the latest deals, all the new up and coming things. There were travel insurance companies there, ones that I have not used before. We got a lot of information on that. The Rocky Mountaineer train. There's what else?
Sharon, you had
the
a
airline
brutal
vacation packages.
It was a brutal grinding work week for you.
There was a lot of information there. So there's all kinds of information that new information and some that I already had that I was able to bring home and utilize.
So anyway, so we wanted to disclose that because it's important to let people know where we're coming from and to let you know how we came about the information, how we came about the cruise, and so that's the deal. So everything you get from us on our opinion is our true opinion, and it's not altered by anyone or anything. We don't owe anything to anybody for it, and we just want to make sure that that is clear with you guys. So first things first, Sharon, let's talk a little bit about leaving out of Canada. It was our first time ever having to go to Canada and sail, and we sailed from the port of Vancouver.
Yeah,
and that was unique.
Yeah, it was. So we've heard a lot of just different stories about that. Not really good stories before we went, but we actually had a great experience cruising, leaving from Vancouver.
Yes, it was weird. It was really, really weird, but it was very controlled chaos.
Yeah, there were two, a princess ship and our ship, all basically were checking in together, going through security together. Everything was kind of together in the same port, all together. And as you went to your ship, that's when you kind of separated and went to your ship. So, for some people,
imagine if you went the wrong way and you went to go get on the ship and they scanned your card and oh, you're at the wrong ship. That would have been crazy.
First, if you weren't as familiar with cruising, maybe you're a new cruiser, it might seem a little more confusing, but it really wasn't bad. It ran very smooth, and there was a lot of direction there, leading people from room to room. There was a lot of changing from room to room there too. They'd move a section of people here, then they would move a section here, and then they would close down this part while they moved people from this part to this part. But it was all very organized.
Yes, it was, but it like we walked a mile. It's like how you go into a cruise port, so you walk in, they take your bags when you get in there, then you walk in and you go maybe directly through a line where they check your ID and stuff like that and your passport. Okay, you're good. Then 20 feet, 30 feet later, you're at the security and you put your bags through, and then right away maybe you go check in at a desk and put a card on file or whatever the case is, and then you go sit in a seat that's 25 yards away. This was like we started in the basement of a parking garage, then we went all the way upstairs. Well, we dropped our bags in the basement, and there was like two signs. There's like Koningsdam and Grand Princess.
Yeah.
I think it was Grand Princess. And so you're like, okay, am I in the right line? You're asking people, you're double checking. Then we go upstairs, then we went outside, then we went back inside, then we go downstairs again. And finally through security, and then into a huge room where we just kind of waited for, 30, 35 minutes, and then boom, we got on the ship. But
we were on really
But
early.
it was very controlled chaos for sure. So people have said Vancouver is insane, and it is, but it wasn't bad.
Debarkation was a piece of cake too. We got right off, so quickly. And the only thing that was a little bit of pain was we decided to take an Uber to the airport. So when we got off, where you have to pick up your Uber is quite a walk. I feel like that's when we walked a mile. Like we came out of the terminal, we walked down a street, we had to turn, walk down another street. And some of it was kind of a little bit uphill, a little bit, not bad.
Well, our Uber driver was surprised that we were actually in the right pickup spot for the Uber. He said most people just stand outside of the parking garage. And he called me and said, "Are you by the parking garage?" I'm like, "No, I'm at the Uber pickup." He goes, "Oh, good." Boom. And he was there in 2 seconds. Larry Thomas, thank you so much for the super chat. Hello. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Sharon and Jamie, glad you had safe travels to and from. Can't wait to see some of you in December. LKC, which is Larry's catchphrase. Let's keep cruising. Thanks, Larry. We appreciate that very much. Thank you so much. I saw a comment that said, "Let's talk about the Lido Olympics." That was the other week. We already covered the Lido Olympics. I'm sorry about that. I think it was Brian Ebert or somebody like that.
That was a lot of fun.
That's right. All right. So Embarkation.
And we put a video. There's a whole video out. We did put one out already.
You can be in the Lido Olympics.
You can
be
just
part of it.
watch the whole process.
There you go. Hi, Barbara from Glendale. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Our neighbor in Glendale. So Embarkation, we get on the ship, we get on Holland America. Not to jump around, we do have a little kind of itinerary or agenda that we want to try to cover, but we got on the ship with I think we had big expectations only because a lot of big expectations were laid out from us. It's an upscale cruise line. It's going to be so much different than anything you've experienced before. The service, the food, the look of the ship, everything. And we got on Embarkation Day. And I think one of the first places that we went to, because we had to wait a little bit to get in our room. And so the first place we went to was the Lido deck, the pool area, right?
Yeah.
The midship pool. Is
but
that the first
actually-
place we went to?
No, actually, we went to our room. Remember, they said the rooms wouldn't be ready until like 1:30.
Wait a minute,
But it
what?
was. We went to our room, and because you were like, oh no, they're not going to be ready.
Oh my
Let's
gosh,
go.
you're so right about
Remember?
that.
And I said, oh, let's just check. You know, if they're not ready, then we'll leave. But let's just check. So we went to our room, and it was ready. It was ready. So we went in there, and we were going to just drop our bags, but then we realized that, hey, the room's complete.
Listen, that was a week ago, okay? I grew up in the 80s. My memory's not that good.
So we actually just stayed in there, and then our room steward came by shortly after that and introduced himself, and we had a great room steward. He was awesome.
Weigh-in was his name, right?
Yeah, he
okay.
was.
All right, so you're right. We went in, we dropped bags, and then we went to eat, and we ended up at the pool area where it's a covered pool area, and this I loved this particular area
Yeah,
on the
I
ship.
do.
I spent
was
probably
the,
more time there, one way or the other, than anything else. They had
It was
the
the New
deli
York
there,
pizza.
New York Pizza and Deli.
So that's what we had on Embarkation Day. Was
Yes.
we had like Caesar salads and the pizza. So it was those salads were really good. I mean, it's a salad, but
Hold on, don't talk. You did a pizza review since Matthew
Oh, I
wasn't there,
did. I
but
did.
we
I
cannot
forgot
see.
about
I
that.
remember some stuff, but we cannot disclose your
Okay.
ranking because people have to wait for
Okay.
the video to come out. But we did eat there. We had a great experience. Enjoyed the pizza. Best Caesar salad I've had ever on a cruise ship.
it was that
I mean,
was-
fresh-
It was better
they
than
had-
the dining room. It
Oh
was
my
better
God.
than the dining room Caesar salads.
They had fresh anchovies. Literally fresh anchovies to put on that salad.
I didn't have those on
when they said, "Do you want anchovy in your salad?" I was like, "I'm in the right place. I am in the right place." So, hey Heidi, how you doing? Glad you just made it, and we did make it home safe. So, so that was a great start to our day. Love the ambiance, love the feel. There were 2 levels in the pool area. There were some deck chairs out, but it was a lot of seating. You know, drinking, eating in that area.
And it wasn't that full.
The
Like, there were plenty
dive-in,
of chairs.
the dive-in burger place was there, which is kind of their poolside burger joint with some hot
yeah.
dogs and stuff like
And
that.
we did do a review video on the burger place too, and that's going to come out soon. Something very interesting happened during that review, and you'll just have to watch the video.
Yes.
It's never happened on a cruise ship before. I mean, for us, it's
I don't think I remember ever happened on a cruise ship.
so
What's up?
it's a good one.
Listen, we said hi to Nancy earlier. I see Leanne in there as well. Good evening, Leanne Francisconi. Leanne and Nancy are 2 family members. They're extended SASC family. Thank you, ladies, for being here, holding down the chat. They are in blue because they are in charge. So if you misbehave, either one of them will either hammer you or nail you. I'm not kidding. Nancy's a hammer, Leanne is a nail, and together the hammer and the nail, so don't mess around with them. A lot of comments on the anchovies. Kelly Madison's disgusted. A few people said, were they good? Wendy Johnson said, don't tell them, Sharon, but my salad was so good. Ha ha ha. Let's hear it for Caesar, said Richard Zellner. Yes, it was great. The fresh anchovies, the Caesar dressing, best Caesar salad I've ever had on a cruise ship. And I'm just going to go on record and start with that positive note that I love the Caesar salad. So they had 2 bars there. There was a pool bar, and then 1 level up was the panorama. I think it was the panorama deck. So there's a panorama bar by the pool. Pete, if you're out there, what's up? Shout out to the bartender there. He was very cool. One of the guys I did engage with and enjoyed chatting with on occasion. So that was nice. Kim Rubicker says, you haven't lived until you've been hammered and nailed by the twins. They're not twins. They're like sisters from another mother, but yes. Did you like the coffee bar with the pea soup? Thomas, we did not have the pea soup.
Yeah.
Just not on the menu.
Well, I know they were also offering pea soup on Glacier Bay Day, and you were gonna go get some, but you never did.
I thought about it.
I don't like pea soup, so I didn't plan to get it.
Yes, but I did enjoy the Belgian beers at the cafe if you're looking for some cafe info. All right, so we get on the ship. It's cool, it's nice, it's beautiful, it's formal, it is clean. I mean, it's clean. This ship was built in 2016, 19?
13, 16.
Like 16, I think, and it just had refurbishment early 2023. So it looks fantastic, and you'll see that when you check out my ship tour video that hopefully will be coming out here in the next week and a half or so. So keep an eye out for that. Mark Sheen said, Jamie didn't work on the motors this time. Glad you had fun. No, there was no motor work. I didn't have to get down and dirty in the engine room or the boiler room or anything like that. So Embarkation came. had a good experience there. We ate, we had a drink. As a matter of fact, you started the day with a margarita.
Yeah.
That was so good.
It was. It was
You
a really good
drank
margarita.
that thing faster than I've ever seen you drink a margarita. And you were immediately like, I'm ready for another margarita. And I looked at Sharon. I said, are you feeling okay? Are you sure? I'm ready. That was an amazing. Apparently they were using the mix that she loves. It was just delicious. And she got that second margarita. And boy, we were,
I don't know what
we
happened.
were taking off.
Well,
we were taking off.
Well, I don't know what happened because I had the second
And then we
margarita.
crash landed.
I didn't feel anything from them really, but all of a sudden I got this massive headache, which was weird, like right after I drank the second one. And then we went back to the cabin and we unpacked the stuff and I'm like, oh my God, my head just hurt. So I kind of lay down for a second and I just literally passed out like the rest of the day almost. I mean, just literally passed out. I was just out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened, but those margaritas, they tasted really good, but they did not go well with me.
They kicked your butt.
I
is what
actually
they
stayed
did.
away from the margaritas like for a few days after that. And then I had another one later in the week. I had a mango margarita. And
It was
that-
just okay.
well, it didn't taste that good. It wasn't as good as the strawberry ones, but
Somehow the
It-
mix they used at the pool
but it
bar
gave me a
that you
little-
went to
but it
was
gave
different
me
than the
a
mix they
headache,
had in
too.
other bars.
it gave me a headache too. And then we went like, I almost like fell asleep and took like a nap that day too. Like it just, I don't know what, if it was the type of tequila they were using or what it was, but
Two different
it
comments.
was really weird.
Two different comments in the chat with two different angles. Richard Van Den Aaron says, Sharon, hydrate before drinking. And Wanda from Cruising for Food says, when I get a margarita headache, I just have more and it goes away.
Yeah.
So one or the other. Make sure you do one or the other. Just
Okay.
drink more
Wow.
or drink
I
water.
practically live on water, so
Yeah.
I was definitely hydrated.
Yeah, so one or the other. But so that was cool. So we got on, everything was great. We started off, we were like, wow, we like the ship. It looks good, it feels good. Everything was going our way. I think that night, I don't even remember what we did for dinner. Do you remember what we did for dinner Embarkation Day? Did we just end up going to the buffet later on in the evening?
Did we do that?
I can't even remember. It seems like it was forever ago. I think we
Oh
went to the
no,
buffet.
we did because we went to the main dining room the second day for the first time.
Yes. Heidi Leskin said, sounds like it might have been an allergic reaction to something they use. You never know. Yes, Leanne, we talked about that. Leanne said, Patron does that to me. I fall asleep immediately. I cannot drink it.
Yeah.
I think that it
I've
was just
never
like
had
Jose
that
Cuervo
happen.
or
I
something.
mean, I always drink margaritas on cruises. That's kind of my favorite drink, and I've never had that happen.
It's crazy.
Very weird.
It was crazy. All right, so then we ate at the buffet. We probably went to bed pretty early that night, and it was not particularly eventful after that. I think we took a walk by the casino real quick and checked out, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But what a weird casino experience I had. Very, very weird. All right, so yeah. So I think the first impression of the ship was at first we were very much wowed. And I was really impressed by the pool area there. It was just gorgeous, the unique seating and benches, and they had curtains between sections of chairs that you could sit on, looking out over out into the water, and it was just pretty awesome. And one other thing that was really unique, the captain literally came on the loudspeaker and said that all passengers are on board, and we're going to be leaving early. Mm-hmm. So we actually set sail like 30 minutes early.
Well, no, he said,
Didn't we?
He said we were going to leave like a half hour early.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a half hour before that time, we just looked out and we're like, we're moving.
Yeah, boom, we're gone. We're out of here.
We're gone.
It was the weirdest thing. There were multiple times where this
left
ship
port early all the
left
time.
port early.
A little bit.
Everyone was on. I was shocked. The people on Holland America follow the rules. There was like one reminder call to do your muster drill. They left early from places. It was
I
weird.
saw that comment, Nancy, and Retro Stars.
What?
I've not answered any phone calls, right?
Daniel, for the question, you can answer this whenever. Was there a burger and how to compare it to the other cruise lines? Daniel, I can't answer that because we did a
There was
specific
a burger.
taste test video, and that video will be coming out here soon. So,
and it
yes,
will
there were
shock you.
burgers.
That video will shock you.
I will say this. I did have a chicken sandwich from the dive-in that I thought was very good. And I also had a hot dog from there with some onions and some jalapenos. And I also thought that was very good. So that's what I can tell you, and that's really all I can tell you. Because if I told you more, I'd have to kill you. So that's it. That's how we have to be. So but you know, you talk a little bit about expectations. You know, you get on a new cruise line and you hear everything about it, and then you're getting ready for your expectations to be met or not met or whatnot. So we were very much expecting to be blown away by the food, the service, and the formality of it all, and we're okay with that. You know, we put out a video with some of our likes and dislikes. Some of you guys might have seen it, and we got a lot of feedback on that, a lot of bashing.
I mean, there were more things we liked, and I don't know, maybe there were any real.
But there were a lot of comments that were like, "Wow, you need to go back to Carnival. It's not a party ship." I'm like, "Hey, that's cool. You can have your opinion."
It wasn't even that about not being a party ship, because it's not like we're huge parties when we're together like that. It's just, it was just a little boring. Like, here, I have these in front of me right here. Are you going right into the list of things to do? All right, give us about 6 or 8 things. At night there were the shows, which as we mentioned, the dance shows were amazing. The singing, it was just okay. But then they also had the rock walk. And if you watch a like and dislike video, you heard my opinion of it. I was bashed for that, but that was just my opinion. I enjoyed it, although it's not something that I would want to sit and do every single night for a whole week. Like for a couple nights, it would be good, and maybe the shows. But like Jamie said, the BB King's, it was just really, it was so loud because it was kind of a small area, and it was just so loud that we sat there for a while. But it's like you could only sit there for so long, and then I just felt like I needed to get out of there. It was just too loud. But so during the day was the main thing.
Sharon, you're throwing BB King under the bus. That's my job.
No, but the music
that was my job.
Good. The musicians were very talented. It was just too much, too loud in that area. It needed a bigger area, I think. But okay, for instance, this was here. Let me go on the second day.
Hold on, really quick, John B. If you send an email, I'm sure she'll be getting back to you. She's literally getting caught up with all of the normal stuff besides the whole Coop group cruise thing as well. So hang in there.
Coop group, John's group
John
cruise.
B. to send him.
And then also, I've had a lot of just other regular stuff, things to follow up on from the week, and just other things with people that were already booked and different things that need to be done.
Okay, really quick, go through this, and then I want to get to a couple comments or questions in the chat.
For example, there's Sunday. Okay, so they had.
Was this a C day?
This was a C day,
the first C day.
This is a C day, so this is a day that you would expect to have a lot of activities, right? So it starts at 8 a.m. with Tai Chi. For everyone, it says. Then they had mass. Okay,
cool.
So that was pretty cool. They had mass I felt like almost every day. So then they also had, then origami folding.
Whoa, you missed Coffee with Betty Ann, the wildlife expert.
Oh, yeah. Coffee with Betty Ann, the wildlife expert.
Nice. Sounds relaxing. It's cool.
Then also origami folding.
They making a sailboat.
Sailboat that day.
Interesting. Pickleball instruction.
Yeah. Shore excursions. So just kind of like what to do on,
You see that on all the cruises, shore excursion talk.
This is a good one. How to use your binoculars. That was fun. That was a fun one. And
that's the one that's great.
Creating designs from doodles.
Doodles. Was York Ragsdale, was he on the ship? Because one of the offerings was creating designs from doodles.
Okay.
So that's cool. I mean, a little drawing type of deal.
So, this was the day where they had the most activities. So that's why I'm going over those. The others, they hardly had anything. Okay, next was Tech for Travelers. So I guess...
we did that on the Vlogger cruise, so I guess that's legitimate, right?
Tech for Travelers?
We had a tech talk on the Vlogger Extravaganza cruise.
Well, yeah, but anyways, permission to dance. I'm not really sure what that was. We did not go to that, but it's some kind of a dance thing. There was a bingo,
There was a jackpot bingo.
Alaska shopping show.
Okay, yeah, that's normal. All the cruise lines have that.
They had
30-minute art history lesson.
Yeah.
Interesting. The art of flower arranging.
Yeah, art of flower arranging.
Okay, I wanted to go to that. Sharon said no, she wasn't interested.
I actually thought about going to that, but I had to do something else.
She shut it down immediately. Brutal.
Oh, they do have a military meetup.
Awesome. Very cool.
Then they had a beer tasting. That was an additional charge of $15. They did have beer tasting, wine tasting, and whiskey tasting throughout the week, and they were all additional charges.
But I figured with the drink package, I didn't really need to I could do my own tasting at my own leisure, so that wasn't a big deal.
Let's see.
Oh, and someone asked about the drink package later, because what a unique drink.
They had an art auction, which that's something they do on all of them. Yeah. So if you're and then a mixology class, but once again, that was an upcharge.
Afternoon tea.
Oh yeah,
It wasn't tea time.
Afternoon tea.
It was just afternoon tea.
They did that on all the sea days, which we really enjoyed. That we went to two out of three. Or did we? No, we went to all three of them.
We went to 2 tea times.
Oh yeah, we didn't go to the last one. That's right.
2 tea times.
Yeah, and they were basically all the same. The thing with the tea time is
you don't choose your tea. They already have it made and they pour it for you. They come in.
When you get there, you set at a table, and they already have a little thing with little plates on it with the food sitting at the table, and then they just come around and they pour tea in your glass. So you get like 10 little snacky things on these plates to share, but they're all different. So like, say if you both wanted the same one, you'd have to break it in half, kind of thing. But it was good.
Yeah. My hand was slapped no less than 4 times trying to reach for something that looked tasty that Sharon wanted. Yeah. And Sharon goes, "You're not going to have. I want that. You can have the salmon. You can have the little smoked salmon finger sandwich down there, or the chicken salad finger sandwich." And so that I couldn't have the sweets. I had to have that.
Tea time was definitely a hot time on this cruise because people lined up.
Dining room
at least 30 minutes before. The whole dining room was filled.
What else you got? What else you got there? Adventures with watercolor.
Adventures
very
with watercolor.
Cool.
So if you want to paint.
Today's trivia, which was food.
And then they had a couple other music trivias throughout the week. And again, adventures with watercolor.
All right. So this thing started off with adventure with watercolor at 3, but then at 4:30 they also had adventures with watercolor, probably because it's so busy that they have a lot of overflow and they need to invite people to come back an hour and a half later.
A lot of people wanted watercolor, I guess.
And then there was questions about Juneau and Skagway. That was cool. Ballroom dance hour. We missed that. More music trivia. Game night. Couple of different meetups. Bill W. LGBTQ. They had those little deals going on.
Yeah. So, like I said, this was the day.
And that was a wrap. That was really a wrap for activities.
The most, and it sounds like a lot of activities, but I mean, basically, it was just some talks, a tea time, and a few mostly.
It wasn't a tea time. It was a tea. It was an afternoon.
But there's a lot of talks there, and especially there on the other days there were a lot of talks for just things with Alaska. Oh, and the movie all the movies that they showed on board.
Guardians of the Galaxy and Avatar.
They did have that, but then all the others were the Call of the Wild one night and some kind of a Disney bear movie, and they were all outdoorsy kind of things.
That's right. Macrina Holder said, "I personally enjoy fun crowds that are enjoying the party atmosphere because you can always find a quiet place on board if I want, but I cannot make a boring ship live."
Yeah,
that is correct. What's up, the ship show, my man Johnny? What's going on, bud? Lovely to see you here. I know his partner in crime, Larry, is he's coaching tonight, as a matter of fact. So we may not see him unless he pops in. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. Wanda from Cruising for Food says that sounds like I'd be sleeping in on that cruise. We did sleep in a little bit.
And then one nice thing is the room service was great because it was no additional charge, and you actually could order hot items too.
Hot breakfast.
So
hot fire.
Every day except for the last day we ordered room service breakfast.
Before we went up and had another one.
Well, no, we only went and had another one day actually.
Well, that's you.
Well, okay.
Because there were 2 other days when you were still in bed and I got up and walked around a little bit, and I may have gone up and had an omelet because I was up there, and there's literally it opens I think at 6:30, and I'm there at 6:30 and there's nobody there. Because I don't know if they know this, but older people wake up later. They stay up a little later. They wake up a little later. That's been my experience.
I don't know if they really stayed up later, but
I don't know. But hey, let's see. Esperanza Quintero said, we were on the Carnival America last year and it was so boring. The bingo caller was the funnest. Lots of people were talking about it, but loved Alaska. And maybe that's an Alaska thing.
Well,
maybe they just don't plan a lot.
Alaska cruises are, I think, a little less eventful in general, just because big focus is on Alaska, I think. You know? And you really don't have a lot of sea days usually.
And in all fairness, let's just say really quick, because we don't even have it written down, but the weather. So we went to Alaska with the ship show. We did the group cruise 2 months ago now, I guess. And the weather was unbelievable. It was sunny. It was warmer. The only thing that's bad about the weather was when we were cruising, you know, at full speed on the ship. And there was a lot of wind when we were on upper decks doing some of our Lido Olympic events and stuff like that. But the weather was great.
Yeah, and then when we went a couple of years back, it was great too. So we kind of got spoiled with having good weather in Alaska.
But this time there was plenty of rain. Yeah. There was so much time when the ship was encompassed by fog that there were literally nights where the foghorn was going off every 2 minutes, because that's what they have to do. The captain actually made an announcement on Embarkation Day talking about when that the ship is designed to go through fog, and don't be concerned, and they'll be blowing the foghorn. So he actually prepared people for the fog, and he wasn't kidding, because there was tons of fog. We were going through like the Tracy Arm Fjord inlet, not the fjord itself, but I mean, we're going, like, you're looking outside for a moment and you just see a beautiful mountain. And then 10 minutes later, you look outside and it's dense fog.
We're like, oh my God, what happened again?
I posted a couple pictures in the cruise crew where you couldn't even see what was next to you, and there was a ship.
And then, a few minutes later, it may be clear again too. It was really weird, but it was foggy a lot.
Yes. Mary Barkley, thank you so much for the super chat, you sweetie. Glad you had an amazing time.
Thank you, Mary.
We really did. We really did. We're pointing out all the different things that are different and things that we think people want to know before going on the cruise.
And even though some things weren't maybe the best to us or whatever, we still had a great time, and someone else might think it's the greatest cruise ever. So.
Yes. I mean, we just read off some things, and some of you may be laughing at them. Some of you may be saying, wow, that's great. One person, I saw the comment saying, hey, I would love to have mass, and that's great if that's something that's important to you. So that's, that's the deal. That's kind of how it works. Debbie Rain said, don't forget to hit the like button. Thanks, Debbie. Make sure you guys hit the like button. I found that
kind of interesting, though, too, because they used to have different types of church services on ships years ago, like when we first started cruising, and a lot of cruise ships don't even have a chapel anymore. Like, they've gotten rid of chapels. So, I was surprised by that. I think it's great, but I was just surprised that they still offer that. Richard
Zollner asked if there's a low tea because there's high tea. I don't think there was a low, just a high. The cigar smoking area, Eric Granger's. So I didn't find an area specific for cigar smoking.
There was a very small smoking area.
In the midship was a pool area that was covered, and that was awesome. And I really liked the area there. Like Embarkation Day, it was really slow. There was hardly anyone there, and we were kind of taken back by it. But later on in the cruise, more people started hanging out there. We saw more kids and families out there than anything else, to be honest with you. The few kids that were on the ship, they were enjoying the pool and a little bit of hot tub action. But after that of the Lido deck, there was also a pool. There were two sides with seating. One was non-smoking. There was a smoking side, and there was a bar out there. We only went out there once or twice to walk around because the weather was so bad that more often than not, it was raining, or it was just colder, or everything was damp or wet from a recent rain. So we really didn't spend any time out there. I didn't go out and have a cigar or anything on this particular trip.
Now, the very first day when we left Vancouver,
that was gorgeous.
We had some sun, and it was really nice. Our balcony was warm. I sat on our balcony for a while and got some sun. It was great. And then the rest of the time, every time we went on the balcony, it was like literally wet. And I mean, because it had been raining, or it was raining. So
Kim Rubicker, I don't believe there was a how to adjust your hearing aid class. And no, you didn't get a choice of scooter or cane. I think it was a bring your own type of deal.
Oh my gosh. That one thing we know.
That's interesting.
That's funny that you say that, because you would think that there would be a lot of scooters on this cruise, or even canes, walkers, anything like that. I think I saw one person with a cane. I didn't see any scooters. I saw no walkers. I saw
I saw a couple of scooters.
A wheelchair.
I was out and about a little more than you were, and I saw a couple of each. But I'm going to tell you right now, I've seen
way more on
15 times more scooters
Royal
and
Caribbean,
stuff
all
like that on
yeah.
Carnival than I ever saw, and even NCL or Royal than we saw on Holland. And considering Holland's supposed to be a lot of older people, these are some healthy older
They're
people.
healthy.
Yes, they are. I mean, everyone was booking around and doing their thing and look great and all that kind of stuff. And maybe that's why.
Oh, I thought of something though. This was funny. So, a big thing on the
Maybe
cruise.
that's why. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. One thing we noticed is we walked by and there was a library on board, and I'm like, oh, let's go take a look in here. I was just curious what it was like compared to the other cruise lines. They had the biggest library on the ship. I've never seen a library on board a cruise ship this big. It was a huge room full of books, games, everything. And there were a lot of people in there just reading. There's like lounge sort of chairs in there. They're reading, but you could check out the books as well. And the last day of the cruise, there were multiple announcements. Please, for anyone that checked out a library book, please return your library book. It's the last day of the cruise. You need to return your library book. And it was so funny because it just reminded me of like when you're in school or something, they're reminding you to return your library book.
Right.
But it was like on the announcements every couple hours. I felt like it was crazy.
John made a great comment. The foghorn on the Spirit was so well timed. It was like we paid them. There were a couple times when we had our group cruise with John on the Carnival Spirit in Alaska where there was some fog and that thing would go off. It's almost like we could start events on the timing of the foghorn. So that was cool. But John, imagine that thing going off. I mean, all night long. I'm waking up in the morning. It's like 4 and I open my eyes for the first time. And it's just like, and it was just
it was so off, and then I got to the point where I kind of really didn't even notice it going off anymore.
You're right about that. After it's just like anything else. It's like when Sharon yells at me and I just stop hearing it. It's just like wah 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 wah. It's the same type of deal. Let's see. John and Diamond. They said I've read most cruise lines. If you're a licensed or ordained minister, you can ask for a place on the ship to conduct a service.
Oh.
You might be able to. Maybe Diamond can help us out in the future with that. I pay attention. Let's see. What else do we have? Hold on. There were some other comments. What do you think of Starlink? Caller Radio.
It was great.
It was good.
Yeah.
At one point I uploaded a video. I had some free time while Sharon was doing something with something work related, where she was out of the room at some meeting deal for a couple hours. So I actually edited a vlog about our day in Denmark, in Copenhagen, Denmark. And ouch. Sorry. Did I say something wrong? Was that an accident?
No, I don't
think I said anything wrong there.
I thought that was Lucy, actually.
Oh, boy. It was uploading, but slowly in the room. So I actually left the room to go out to the pool area, thinking maybe it'd be better. And the internet was a little faster by the pool area. And there were a few times where it was a little spotty in the cabin, but also that could have had a little to do with there was so much low, thick, heavy cloud cover that I know they're working with satellites there, and even with the power and the juice it was working with, it had to be hard to break through a lot of that cover, that cloud cover, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see.
But it was good. I think it was good.
But otherwise, it was great. No issues, and it was very positive. Pam S comes in hot with the question: would you cruise Holland again?
That is a good question.
I would say I'm going to say yes.
Okay, in the near future, no, for me.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime in the future, possibly. Although I would not. It would have to be a really good deal to do it. I would not pay the high prices of Holland to do it. Like we said, we didn't have to pay for this, but if I would have paid for it, because Holland prices a lot of them are a little pricier. Some of their itineraries, I would probably be a little more disappointed than maybe I am now.
Okay, that's fair, right? I think that's a fair assessment.
But someday, maybe I'd like to try another ship at some point, a different itinerary or something, just to kind of compare, see if anything's different. But I'm not jumping out to get on another Holland ship.
Finally, we've got some trolls in the chat tonight.
Oh.
Great. I know that Nancy and Leanne get very bored sometimes because everyone's so well behaved. So it's great to see a couple trolls out there, and it's great to see them getting hammered and nailed. So God, that's good to see. How was the weather compared to Alaska cruise? Jamie Wilhite, what's going on, girl? Yeah, that's what we mentioned. It was
rainy. And
it was
foggy.
way worse, but it was way more Alaska.
Yeah, it was.
If that makes sense.
And I don't know if it was. One day it was a little cool, but it wasn't necessarily a lot colder. It was just rainy and wet and foggy.
Yes. Let's see. Did you try the saucer-sized chocolate chip cookies in the Dutch Cafe? So let's talk about that. I saw a few questions about that. Margie Butcher.
No, but I will say
We didn't have to.
No, that's one thing that I guess Holland, probably my favorite thing on the ship. And I know this sounds very stupid probably to some people.
Yes.
But the cookies on this ship were the best I've ever had on a cruise ship. I mean, I don't know how. I must have ate 10 cookies a day. They had oatmeal raisin cookies, peanut butter cookies, macadamia.
We were still eating Holland cookies in San Francisco
sugar
Airport.
cookies.
I'm not lying to you.
They had them all out in the buffet area from lunch all the way through dinner. And not only did I have them for dessert, I went back and got them. I filled a bowl. I took it back to our cabin, and I ate a ton of cookies. They were so good. It definitely made up for the creme brulee that was not so good.
So let's talk about that. The grand.
In fact, the desserts looked nice, but they were very kind of flavorful and not that great.
Flavorfulness? Flavorless?
Flavorless. But I had
Flav.
I had cookies for dessert every meal.
You did. And for breakfast, and a few for lunch, and a couple anytime you wanted, because we had a pile of them in our room. There were times when I was actually instructed to grab a plate and take some extra ones back to the cabin.
Get your cookies too. Well, because you would try to eat my cookies, and I'm like,
she had so many cookies in a bowl that I had to get a plate of extra ones just to have a backup for the cookies. It was ridiculous.
I had to hide my cookies in the cabin.
All right, will you let me talk about this? The Grand Dutch Cafe, a very popular spot on the ship. Very, very popular. I found it the first, I had heard about it because of the pea soup. That's where they have the pea soup at. They have a very small selection of coffee drinks, considering it's a cafe. 4 different types of coffee drinks. It was also a bar. You're not going to get margaritas there, but cocktails, beers. They had a selection of Belgian beers because its focus is Belgian food, Belgian drinks, and stuff like that. I had some great Belgian beers there. We didn't get into the food there really because we were never there at a time when we were hungry. I wasn't hungry to eat there. Sharon probably wouldn't have eaten much of the food they had there. They had, like fish and veal. I mean, it was just some really unique Belgian type snacks. There was like a ham and cheese you might have eaten or something like that. And to be quite honest, one day I sat there having a few beers and it was dead. There was no one else there. Every other day, every time we walked by that place, there was a line 15 people deep. And it took a minute to get all their coffees made. And I'm not sure why, because it basically had Americano, espresso, cappuccino.
No, there were only 3 kinds of coffee.
Yeah, Americano, espresso. I thought there was some kind of a latte or something. No, a cappuccino and like one other or something. But it's not like you were getting like a mocha frappuccino at this place or anything. And a few people said on our like and dislike video, oh, well, you should go to the Crow's Nest for more selection. But we went up there and saw the menu, and the menu had the exact same coffee drinks listed. So I don't know what the deal was. But anyway, so yeah, we didn't dive into the food. It just didn't play out. Maybe I should have. But it just didn't. And
there was so much food in other like places when we did eat, and we were never hungry. That's for sure. Even though some of the food had weird times that it was available on things, but we always had plenty of food. That's
right. We did not. Yeah, we definitely did not go hungry at any point. And you can probably see by the slight addition of a chin and the weight that I've gained back probably over the last 2 months of cruising that we have not gone hungry. So Rob and Jan Can Cruise said, question, so if you're choosing between a Carnival cruise versus HAL and the price is the same, would you choose Carnival? Price is the same. I would say I have an answer to that.
I might even go with Carnival, but it would depend on the ship. I think. I
would say this. If it's just Sharon and I'd happily go back on Holland America. If it's a group of us, a couple of friends and people we hang with that we like to have fun with, party with a little bit, I think we'd have to go on Carnival because I just don't think HAL would have the party vibe or the fun atmosphere in any particular spot that we're looking for. Quite frankly, I think we would just piss people off if we were partying because I didn't see much of any of that on the ship. I don't remember seeing any drunk person and really not even me. Which is the saddest thing to really report.
See the World with Chris said, was the food remarkable? The presentation was awesome for all the food. But taste-wise, there were a few things that were really good, and everything else was just good. But I think it kind of fools you with the presentation. You know, you think it's going to be better than it is, but there wasn't, like I said, not a lot of flavor. Like I don't know if they cook things with less salt and things, maybe because of the demographic of age on the ship or whatever. But there just wasn't a lot of flavor, and even for me, and I don't spice up things a lot either. Usually, even like you do, and I still thought it didn't have a lot of flavor.
Colorado, the question was Claire your cruise and travel director? I don't know.
Claire, I thought her name was.
I'm sorry, I have no idea.
She was very boring.
Whoever it was. I'm sorry. I'm sure she's the nicest lady in the world and smart and does her job for Holland America great.
And talked.
But for us, it was like nothing.
The shows, and then a couple times on the over the.
I mean, it's like she came out for like the dance show, and she goes, "Hello everyone, welcome to the show. Tonight our dance troupe is going to be doing this number, and they've been working it for a while, and it's going to be a great night, and I hope everyone has a great time. And now I'd like to introduce the dance team." And that kind of voice too. Nothing exciting. Like nothing like, "Hey guys, listen, we have this going on and this going on and this going on." During the day, she made a few announcements, where she read off some of the things that we read off earlier. But it's just, unlike, I think a lot of if you've been on Carnival, the cruise directors are entertainers. They're amazing. NCL and Royal Caribbean, not much, maybe a little here and there. Holland, it's just an afterthought. They have a job, but their job is not to entertain. Their job is just to say, here's what's next, and here's where you go, and here's what you do, and that's really the deal. So I don't know if it was Claire. Nothing against Claire. I'm sure she's a lovely lady. That's just the deal.
She's nice.
Diamond Dave, great question. Any Buffalo Trace on board? So Diamond Dave, I saw a few drinks that offered Buffalo Trace at a few of the bars in the menu, but I did not see any Buffalo Trace on the wall.
Oh, I did see it at one bar. I forgot what bar.
What bar?
I don't remember which one it was.
I don't remember
towards
seeing
the beginning of the week.
I don't remember seeing Buffalo. I don't remember seeing Buffalo Trace.
You ordered it.
No, I ordered a Buffalo Trace Old Fashioned in the Pinnacle Grill when we had dinner in there, and they said no problem. I'm not 100% sure if it was Buffalo Trace or not. It was a good old fashioned, but I couldn't really tell you if it truly was. I said, "Do you have Buffalo Trace?" And the guy said, yes, I believe we do." I said, "Great, I'll have a Buffalo Trace old fashioned." And that was it. Did I get it in the main dining room maybe too?
I don't remember.
I might have ordered one there too, but again, I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember seeing a Buffalo Trace bottle anywhere. So they had Bullet, they had Woodford, they had Maker's Mark, they had Jack Daniels, not a big bourbon selection. And here's something weird. Guys, tell me in the chat, is it me? Every time I ordered a martini, a dirty martini, number one, it was clean. And number two, they always said, "Would you like that straight up or on the rocks?" I've never been asked before if I want my martini on the rocks. I looked it up online. I guess it's a thing, but I've never been asked. And I literally had a guy make me a dirty martini where he made the entire martini done in the glass. He chilled the glass. Everything looked okay. But when the martini was there, then at the end, he took the olive can, like the thing on the counter with the olives in it. He opened the lid, poured some olive juice into it, and then gave it to me. And I'm like, "Dude, what?" I didn't say anything. I drank it, obviously. But I'm thinking, what is that? You don't put the stuff in beforehand and shake it and mix it? That's not a cocktail. What's going on? And I was just like, what's happening here? It was the weirdest thing. The cocktails were, the bars were uneventful. The drinks were okay. Boy, every one of them was measured out to a T. I mean, to a T.
Oh, and that one thing with the drink package too, it was included because we had the package that had the drink package included. But they do limit you to 15 drinks like Carnival does. But not just alcoholic drinks, your waters, your Cokes, your all that is included in that 15 drinks. So if you want to get 6 waters, then you're only getting, maybe get 6 waters and you get, I don't know, a couple Cokes or whatever. Then you're only getting like maybe 7 drinks or so,
All right.
So, yeah.
Well, Mary Ellen Dillon said, "Jamie, it would be Netherlands food and drink, not Belgium." Well, everything they said was Belgium. They said it was Belgian beers, They said this bar has a flair of Belgium. So maybe Belgium's in the Netherlands, but everything they said to me was Belgium is the jam. That's the focus on the deal. Yeah. Margie Butcher said the same thing. Don't. Belgium, Netherlands. Belgium's in the Netherlands. I get it, but Belgium is the place, and that's where they said
that's what they refer to it on.
Yes. So Belgium, Netherlands. I will come out there.
So upset that you didn't bring him that luggage map.
Sorry, John. I didn't. I thought about it, but Sharon said we were all packed up, and I couldn't bring it home.
No, we didn't have any room in our luggage. That was the whole thing.
Julie Amos said, "Were you the youngest ones on the ship?" No, we were not.
There were several little kids.
Plenty of younger ones. Yeah, I saw some families, young families with kids and all that kind of stuff. They had a kids club. We saw a kids club, the HAL for kids or Kids HAL or whatever it was. We saw that deal.
Yeah, the one day in the buffet, like there was a guy in the younger kids club, and he brought the kids in for lunch. There were 6 of them there. And he got them their plates, and it's kind of funny because then he tells the kids, he's like, "Okay, now tell the nice server thank you," and he was like telling them what to do. And
yes,
and then
adorable, lovely families were on there, but everyone was just really well behaved. I mean, I didn't hear any cussing. The elevators were clean. There was barely any elevator etiquette missteps or anything like that.
There was hardly anyone on.
Wanda from Cruising for Food said, "Did you have a Louise naturalist?" There was Ranger Jen,
yeah, it was
a very young gal, and she even had she had kids sign up to be junior rangers, and they did that at the BB King Rock Club after she was done working.
Yeah, after Glacier Bay.
But like Sharon mentioned, one of the cool things was you could put on one of the TV channels. It happened to be the channel with the forward camera, so you were seeing out forward on the ship. And if you put on that channel, any announcement that would come on the loudspeaker outside of your cabin would come out through the TV. So whether it's a cruise director doing it, or whether it's Jen, the ranger, talking about, hey, there's a bald eagle off of the starboard side right now. On the port side, there are some sea otters. And one thing about the sea otters that's interesting is the level of hair on their body. They have some of the densest hair of any marine mammal. And that's because of the cold temperatures. And if you look to the starboard side, you can see them all relaxing, trying to get a little sun as they lay out on the iceberg, and stuff like that. And that was cool, and that's always interesting. And I'm sure she was a lovely gal with tons and tons of knowledge. Let's see. I had many good old fashions the week we were on that ship. Yeah, I'm not saying the old fashions weren't good. I didn't see the Buffalo Trace poured into it, so I can't confirm or deny that that was the deal. That's all I'm saying. All right, so let's get a little bit into dining really quick. What's the time? Oh my God, it's already an hour, Sharon. This is going to be like a 5-hour show, so brace yourself, guys. It's going to be huge. Okay, 250 people here. Thank you so much for being here really quick, guys. And if you're just watching, please consider subscribing. And if you're subscribed, please consider hitting the like button or the thumbs up. And if you're in the chat on your phone, you don't know how to do that, just close the chat, hit the thumbs up button, open the chat back up again. You won't miss a beat, and everything. We'll still be here when you're done.
Will G said any comedy shows. Yes, the very last night there was a comedy show.
One comedy show.
In the main theater. We were planning to go, but we ended up not going just because it was the last night before you get off the ship. And you know how that goes sometimes. You're packing, you're just doing all those last minute things. So we ended up not making it to the comedy show. That's
right. And I do have some pictures to show you guys of some food. So if you're getting ready to leave.
So the food, room service was awesome. It was great. And it was
24 hours.
24 hours, no additional charge unless you purchased something that had additional charge. There
were a few upcharge items, but not many, and they were from specialty venues. You could order Pinnacle Grill dinner or food. You could order something from the dive-in and pay extra. There were a few other items like lobster Benedict at breakfast for $12. You could do that if you wanted to, but most of the menu was included. Everything
we got was pretty warm, and with room service, they were always early. Always. In fact, the last time I ordered it, I put down a little bit later time because consistently they were coming 15 minutes early every day. So
they were on point.
The buffet was great, although I will say for lunch they had exactly the same things every day for lunch, except for maybe they changed
like a few things on a carving station. There might have been something different.
Dinner in the buffet, a lot of it was the same, but the main food, like the meats and things, changed throughout different nights. They'd have a lot of the similar things to what was in the main dining room.
Wendy Johnstone said, "I heard an alarm goes off if you swear on HAL."
Oh,
I don't think that was in effect that day. All right, so
But
so
the
that
main
stuff was
dining
good.
room was great. The presentation, but the food was a little bland, I think. And I did order my filet mignon the one night. I ordered in the main dining room. I ordered it medium, and I actually got it was rare. It was literally rare. So I started having to order medium well after that just to get a medium.
And
steak.
what you did that? Yes, you did that later, and
Yeah.
and you ordered medium well, and then it came out medium. I do remember that. So funny side note. First night, so we're in the dining room. It was the second night, the C day, which was formal night, by the way. So our first night in the MDR was formal night, and we are sitting. We're at a table for two, and right next to us is another table. So, a guy's there with a lady. The guy's looking this way, so we can see him. I can see him. The lady's facing the other way. The guy orders the steak and the filet mignon with the shrimp. Okay, so they have like 2 shrimps served with the filet mignon.
I think she told him not to put the shrimp on, or
So he wanted the shrimp on the side. They were going to do something on the side where maybe she could eat the shrimp. He just didn't want the shrimp. He didn't care for it. It wasn't an allergy situation because I heard the whole conversation. They just didn't want it. So she tells the one guy, and he goes, "No problem. I can put that on the side for you." Okay. And I'm hearing this because they're a little bit loud. Not drinking loud, just loud. And so then a little bit later, the food comes out. And they bring out the guy's filet mignon, normal, without the shrimp on the side. And this lady blows a goddamn gasket. Blew a gasket.
She was sitting there. She kept saying, she wanted to talk to someone. She was telling her husband to say something, and he wouldn't say anything. So she was getting mad at him. She was like, "No, this is unacceptable." And she was going off. And then finally she gets up and she stomps across the main dining room because she's asking for the maitre d' and to talk to the maitre d' to bash the server for bringing it to her, and it was a whole thing. And we were like, "Oh my god!"
It was unbelievable.
Like,
yeah, because a different guy brought it. Another guy goes, "Oh, here you go. You had the filet mignon," and she's like, "I want the maitre d'," and he's like, "Whoa, what? I don't know what's happening. Sorry about that." And then the guy goes, "I'm sorry. I can take it back." And so they take it back, and 2 minutes later, they bring out a filet without the shrimp. And then she's like, "Oh, well, did they? Is that a new one, or did they just take the shrimp off and wipe it off?" And we were like, "Oh my god, it was crazy." And I'm like looking at the guy, but not looking. And he's like, "Oh my god, he's doing it. He's falling down into his chair." And I'm just thinking, man, is that what we're in for this week? Is that what we're going? Is that what we're in for? Because it was like the second night, but that was really the only issue that we saw. But I was a little worried after that. I was like, okay, this is the Holland America that I've heard of. But it was hysterical. So a couple of things. All right, let me get you guys into a little bit of
one
picture.
thing I will say, in the main dining room, the service was good, but it was very businesslike. They didn't come talk to you, and they and they weren't engaging at all. It's like they come up, want to take your order. Then they bring your food, set it down, and you really don't see anything else from them until it's time to bring your dessert or whatever. Like there's just no.
It was. I'll give you an example. This is kind of exact. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I got it. I know I don't remember everything perfectly, but I think it went like this. We sat down. They came by, gave us water. Then when we got to the table, there was already bread on the table, so that was kind of cool. Then someone.
But no butter again. We had to ask for butter.
You did ask for butter.
I don't know what it is. They have so much bread.
Sharon
on the
loves
ship.
butter, and she can't find butter.
Even at the buffet, they have this whole spread of different buns and breads and things, but no butter anywhere. I'm like, is this a thing? Do people eat bread, just plain dry bread?
One buffet station had butter.
I like a lot of butter on my bread.
All right, so they come over, okay, and the guy comes over, and I think maybe when he came over and poured the water, I said, "Hey, can we order a drink?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure." So we each ordered a drink. Was that, I forget what or you ordered a drink then, didn't you? Didn't you get a margarita? Or no? Or did just I had something?
Maybe
anyway,
wine.
So we ordered a drink. He goes, "Yes." And so, oh yeah, you did. And so we ordered the drink, and he goes, "Yeah, no problem." Okay, good. And so the next person that comes over comes by and goes, "Hello, are you ready to order?" I'm like, "Yeah, hi. How are you? Nice to see you."
And they just stare at you like you're like
nothing.
You're foreigners.
Yeah, nothing. Like usually I've been on other cruise lines that are supposed to be crappy cruise lines where they come up and go, "Yes, hello, Mr. James and Miss Sharon. How are you this evening? Do you have any questions about the menu? Do you have any allergies to worry about?" Yeah. And so we're like, "Yeah, we're ready to order." So we placed our order, and he left, and I'm like, "Well, that was a little abrupt, wasn't it?"
It's almost like it made you feel a little uncomfortable for trying to engage with them. It's kind of weird.
So anyway, so that was a little bit odd, and really that was the tone of most of our we didn't spend much time in the
bars.
MDR, but that was the tone at much of our experience anywhere on
Even
the
the
ship,
bars
with a
and
few
things,
exceptions.
you know,
Yes,
yeah.
the bars there's a lot of that. I can have a bartender walk back and forth. I sit at the bar, walks by 4 times, glances at me, doesn't say a word until he's ready to take the order. And then he goes, "Hi."
Like, oh, you're right.
I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, it's time to make the order. Okay, I'll have the boom, Miller Lite or whatever the case is." Once or twice it happened
The
like
only
that.
one that was engaging on the whole cruise, was our room steward.
Yes.
He was really nice. He always kept coming back. So they would clean our room in the morning.
Yes,
They
it
would
was
come in.
Koningsdam. I saw the question.
They would come back and do like a turn down service in the evening, and he would, like, if anything was messed up, whatever, like a towel or something, he would fix it. But but then at night there was a couple times where he forgot to leave something in our room, and he would come back in, and he would just like talk to us for a minute, kind of, so he was very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, we literally had like a 3-minute conversation with our cabin steward in our cabin.
Yeah.
Just chatting with him. He's
Even
super
a couple
cool guy.
nights where we were going to dinner and he was busy, and he's like, "Oh, do you need anything?" And we're like, "Oh no, don't even worry about us tonight. We don't need anything. There's nothing to do, really."
Yeah.
He literally came in our cabin anyways and moved a couple pillows off the bed to do the turn down.
He was so nice to Sharon. He comes in, he's like, "Hey, does Miss Sharon like maybe pineapples or an upside down pineapple?" I said, "No, we're okay. We don't care for that." Just kidding.
Oh my god.
Just kidding. Just kidding. No, that
Anyways,
joke.
but he was very nice.
You set that joke up.
Oh
No, I'm just teasing. Totally teasing on that. So that was wild. Okay, but let's hear. Hold on. But we're going to show you because, the food looked pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So let me give you just a little taste. Excuse the pun. Of the food here. Okay, let's get started right here. Boom. Okay, so I ordered a shrimp cocktail. All right, hold on. There's my dirty martini. Okay, that's my dirty martini. That thing's clean as a whistle, by the way, to prove my point. I ordered a shrimp cocktail, but it came as like you ever have a crab louis? It's got like a dressing on it. It's got some little egg on it. And there's some lettuce in there. It was the weirdest shrimp cocktail ever. Nothing special about it at all. The shrimp were not much bigger, and my friend John's out there, not much bigger than I've had on Carnival, Royal, NCL in the main dining room.
I think we posted somewhere and someone thought.
Oh, I got it. Here it comes.
Someone thought that was creme brulee.
Okay, so then so that was one of my appetizer. Then Sharon had, and this is great. This is a crab artichoke dip.
Thing.
And with the 2 little breadsticks there. But Sharon posted that, and everyone's like, "That's the weirdest looking creme brulee I've ever seen." And we're like, "No, that's not creme brulee." So, and then for dinner, instead of getting the filet like everyone did, I ordered the lamb chops. Now that looks gorgeous. These were delicious. It was great. The presentation was great. I loved them. I was very happy. Sharon questioned me when I picked up the bone and just started chewing the lamb chop off the bone. I said, "No, this is acceptable. Don't worry about it." And so Sharon had the filet. So this was her filet. Notice it's got a shrimp on the side and a shrimp on top. That's what the lady lost her lunch over and freaked out and wanted the maitre d' about. So that was kind of funny. And then for dessert, they had a blueberry cheesecake. I said, "Okay, I'll try it." Well, it was a cheesecake with like a little vanilla wafer bottom on it and 2 little dollops of blueberry something on the side. So that was it. So they brought that, and I was like, "Is this the dessert appetizer, or what are we doing with it?" But it was tasty, and yes, I did eat the whole thing. And Sharon got the apple pie with the scoop of ice cream, I guess that is, and that was good.
It probably looked better than it tasted.
Okay.
It didn't have a lot of flavor.
And I just want you guys to know that it was formal night, and on other cruise lines, I wouldn't worry about it, but on this cruise line, I heard that you really need to dress up, so I was just super happy. I was ecstatic to get dressed again, to be able to get a jacket on and a tie. I was so happy about it, so comfortable. I can't even explain to you guys that it was just awesome. So that was a look at the formal night dinner. Listen, it looked great. It tasted really good. I don't know that there was a particular complaint besides Sharon, maybe it's the cook of her steak, but
Yeah.
we're not. Unless something's just totally off, we're just going to bite the bullet and deal with it. But I don't know. Were we blown away by it? I don't know.
Well,
maybe the mediocrity or the all business service experience took a little bit away from what would have been a
Usually
little better dining experience.
We look forward to
if
eating in
that's
the main
fair.
dining room, but this cruise we only ate in there. I think 3 nights. We ate in either the buffet or a couple nights we actually had the New York pizza because they had salads there, desserts, the pizza, and they even had some other things. So, and it was just, I don't know, it was just convenient, easy, and relaxing. So we ended up doing that a couple nights.
John says, do not compare this to Royal Shrimp Cocktail. Carnival Shrimp Cocktail is a joke. John, please, I've had each, and they're both exactly the same. Royals is just on a different colored plate. All right? Somebody back me up on that. Yeah, John and Diamond said, are you sure that was a shrimp cocktail? Hold on, let me get the chat back up. I don't want to read that just off my phone.
Oh, yeah.
Roger Johnson would comment on my voice earlier when I was talking about Ranger Jen or whatever the case is, about the naturalist.
Yes, we did do specialty dining. I saw someone said no specialty
Yes,
dining.
we'll cover that here. Give me 1 sec. Question, did you compare notes with Sharon's co-workers? No, we did not. We saw them on occasion. We chatted. They were lovely. They were nice, but no notes being compared. It's very unique, that whole thing. I won't get into it too much, but these are all travel agents that we spent time with, or that Sharon did. But none of them are doing kind of what we do with the interaction and the YouTube and all that kind of stuff. So it's not something that we want to talk about or that Sharon talks much about with them. And we saw a lot of people comparing notes, and there were some travel agencies that were there with their travel agency owner and maybe the people that work under them. And then there were some individual people, and you could tell the difference because a few times we saw groups of people sitting there talking shop and doing whatever they do. And then Sharon would just walk in like, hey, I'm on my own schedule, doing my own thing. So that was kind of cool. Let's see. Robin Jenkins Cruz said, that's why we love Carnival so much. The crew are so friendly and genuine. We love having conversation with them. You're right. We've made a lot of good friends with a number of good Carnival folks. Let's see. Cabin Steward was probably only getting interaction with you both. The others were boring. Maybe. We may have been interacting a little bit more, and we were a pain in the butt for the guy. I'm sure there were times when he's like, yes, Mrs. Sharon and Mr. James, are you ready for the room to get turned? We're like, oh, don't worry. Like 3 times we were like, don't worry about it today. We're fine. Don't worry. We're not making a mess. The kids aren't with us.
Well, like on the Glacier Bay Day and things, we were just, in and out from our balcony, so we really didn't leave the room a lot for a while.
The ship show, that presentation is fantastic. It was, John. Listen, John is a presentation first type of a guy, and I know that about John. I've eaten many meals with him, and I know the lamb chops look good. They were good, and they were damn good. A few people were a little thrown back by the shrimp cocktail. It was odd. No, John, there was. I think on the backside of that there was a little green mint deal. That just wasn't in the picture. My apologies to you. Let's see. What else? Lovely people checking in. Little bit. Bonnaby's vacation. Don't worry that you're late. It's totally fine. You're okay.
Nancy Fields loves the baby carrots. I like the baby carrots too.
That's right. Let's see. Yes, you are not. Thank you, Richard. You're not finished until you gnaw on the bone of the lamb chop. You're totally right about that. Cruising for Food said, you look good dressed up, Jimmy. Yeah, I may have looked good, but I did not feel good. I was not in the mood for that, and I think also because I had a number of Belgian beers earlier in the afternoon, and so that was not my mood at the moment. That's not cheesecake. If I could bring mine, I'd put that to shame. Oh, hey. John said, being dressed up is a great feeling in my opinion, although my opinion of dressed up is often misinterpreted. John, you said it, I didn't, and that's what we love about you, brother. That's what we love about you. I think the fun experience does help the food taste better. It can. Retro Sarge is a shorts and t-shirt kind of guy. I hear you, brother. That's kind of how I am. Really quick.
Okay, so the specialty dining.
Yeah, so we also did. Sharon, you want to talk about the Pinnacle Grill?
So there were a couple places on board. We had one included, so we decided to do the Pinnacle Grill. The other main one that a lot of people booked was Rudy's, but we've done Rudy's. I know it's not exactly the same, but we did do Rudy's on a Carnival ship before, so we thought we'd do their signature steakhouse, the Pinnacle Grill, because that way we kind of could compare it to other steakhouses if we liked it. I'm glad we did, and it was good. We had the food was really good in there, but once again, the experience was a little lacking for being their steakhouse and.
Well, it's their flagship. Kind of like NCL has Cagney's. Carnival has the 555 Fahrenheit. maybe Royal. I mean, Royal's got a number of great dining
Chops,
experiences there. Chop probably is going to be the closest thing to it. But I would put the Pinnacle Grill right in line with any of those other places. I mean, I don't know if that's fair or not fair.
Yeah.
We did a video, so we did make a little video of our experience going to Pinnacle Grill. Probably come out just a little shorter, 6-7 minute video of just that. We didn't really do much like vlogging. We weren't like, good morning, here we are on the balcony, because it was raining usually if it was wet out there. But we just really videoed more different things that we did versus like a good morning, good afternoon, and good night type of a vlog deal.
Yeah.
So there you go. I like the white tablecloths. Yes, Leanne, it was nice. You would have enjoyed the tablecloths. But yes, that shrimp cocktail would have thrown you for a loop.
So the casino. Let's talk about the casino. I know a lot of people like to know about the casino.
Alan Smith said I got it on Holland America. I was there for a back-to-back. They put beef stock and everything, and I got a gout attack.
Oh.
Wow, maybe that's what I got, a little gout. That's why I'm thickening up.
Oh my God.
That might be it. Okay, hold on. Let me catch up a little bit in the chat here.
Yeah, so Richard Van Den Aaron said no specialty on. So we did the Pinnacle Grill, as we mentioned. The casino. The casino was the smallest casino I've ever seen on a cruise ship. Even a small ship has a bigger casino than this.
Man.
And there was literally hardly anyone ever playing in the casino. The last couple nights were the busiest, and things still weren't full.
All right.
The first couple nights, it's like it was walking through there, and it's like you wondered if it was even open because there was just nobody playing.
Here's a couple instances. Here's a few instances. One morning on a sea day, I got down to the casino at about 11 a.m. And the table games, like blackjack was open, and I think 3-card poker was open. The slots had maybe 1/5 of the slots were in use. You know, barely, not even 20%, 25% of them. And I had to go to the roulette table, and they open and say, "Oh, is the table open?" He goes, "Yes, just a moment." And he had someone coming on right then to open the roulette table. So that I was like, "Wow, that's weird." Now also,
and you played alone on roulette a lot of the time.
There was an evening when I played an hour by myself on the roulette table, and no one else there, and that was crazy.
No one playing craps, really.
Craps, I never saw more than 3 people at a table the entire cruise, and I looked at it a number of times. No
excitement in there, like people, usually you hear excitement of the slot machines and just people getting excited when they're playing.
Well, I think they did 1 or 2.
None of that.
It's not designed for that, right? It's not that vibe. It's not that crowd, from what I could tell. But no exciting like giveaway announcements per se or anything. There was like, so you're going to win a $50 bingo card or something going on. Nothing big, no big giveaways, no big dollar stuff. But there was another time when we got through with Glacier Bay. We went to Glacier Bay, and once we were done, we're leaving Glacier Bay. So I'm like, hey, Sharon had to do something in the afternoon. I said, I'm going to run down to the casino. So I go down there mid-afternoon, and I notice the shops are open. All the shops are open and running. I'm like, okay, shops are open. When the shops are open, the casino's open, right? Those two things go hand in hand. Either it's closed or it's all open. I go to the casino, it's closed. Even the games, even the video or the slot machines are turned off. No one's in there, not a peep, not a sound, which I thought was the weirdest thing ever. Because we're just Glacier Bay. We're leaving Glacier Bay. The day is done, and it's still not open. And then on the last sea day, I went down there. It must have been about 2 in the afternoon. Last sea day, and I walk into the casino. I walk over to the roulette table, and it's not open. And I was talking to another guy real quick for a minute. So I went over to the pit boss. There was a blackjack table open. There was another blackjack table with one dude. It was a high roller table. And then there was a 3-card poker table that had 2 people. The blackjack had 3 people. And I go to the pit boss. I go, hey, man, there's no one at the roulette table to take my money. And he goes, yeah, I'm sorry. I only have 3 dealers on right now. But if one of these tables closes down, I can open up the roulette table for you. I'm like, what? It is the afternoon of the last sea day of the cruise, and you have 3 dealers. Nothing's even open. What's happening? I get no one wants to gamble, or they're not prepared for it, or they don't have the staff for it. I wasn't quite sure, but I was blown away. For my gambling friends out there, you would have been out of your mind. Nancy Fields, Leanne Francesconi, anyone else who loves to gamble. You guys would have been pulling your hair out, like what's going on this cruise ship. It was the weirdest thing. Yeah. And I don't really know. I don't have an explanation for it. That's just how it was, and that's it. Beauty and the Mum Travels. I see out there. What is going on? Nice to see you. Yeah, it was a wacky situation. Yeah, Wendy Johnson said, "I'd be shaking my head." Not good, said Roger. Old people problems. I know, Kevin, right? It was a bunch of scientists. They don't gamble because they know the odds. That might have been it. That might have been it. The casino was just very, very weird. I still managed to lose a couple $100. Don't get me wrong, and I gambled and had a good time when they
we
were
definitely
open.
didn't win anything. I gambled a little bit and everything I put in.
But there were 2 times where I literally walked up. They opened it. They unlocked the thing. They opened it. They pulled the chips out. Well, they already had the roulette chips sitting out, but they opened it and put somebody on the table and started playing. And I'm like, I don't like this, man. I mean, I'm the first guy at the table. The first spins of the day. Boom, lose, 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 lose. And the only time I won was in the evening when I was by myself early in the cruise. But it was definitely odd. It was definitely an odd situation. What else we got? Service we talked about a little bit. The casino we talked about. Activities we talked a little about. The cruise and travel director we mentioned that.
Our excursion. So we did
For the first time in a long time.
So Skagway, the weather was just so bad that we just decided to stay on the ship. We didn't even get off the ship in Skagway.
We didn't have an excursion.
Yeah, and
we thought about maybe going into town, but it was just rainy and crappy, and we just stayed on the ship and chilled out.
So Juneau, we had an excursion with the host agency I'm with. We had everyone went on an excursion together. We did whale watching in Mendenhall Glacier, and that was a lot of fun. Yes. We saw a lot of whales, and it was a fun day.
It was a great day. Great day overall.
Then Ketchikan, we did an excursion.
Don't say what it is. Don't slip and say it.
Okay.
Do not.
We did an excursion. Actually, it was the first excursion we've done through the cruise line in I don't know how many years, several years. We just don't do cruise line excursions usually. But with our package, we had credit for a shore excursion. So we booked that one. And it was something Jamie really wanted to do. I wasn't really too excited about it.
Believe me, it was a battle to get Sharon to say okay to this.
I'm like, okay, we'll do it. But it actually turned out to be one of the best excursions I've been on in a long time. It was really good. I was surprised, and it was through the cruise line. But there were only, I think, 11 people on our excursion. Very small excursion. Yes. And it was great. It was
great. It was informative. And
we really saw a lot of Ketchikan. Usually when you go into Ketchikan, you park there and you just see the shops there and you walk off and there's the lumberjack show, the other little area. The boats are coming in here. You know, it's all kind of there.
We were at the other end of the pier, all the way at one end, and but maybe everyone's seen that before. Depends on what cruise line you're on.
We came in over by where Holland came in, and there was a princess ship there, and we went
4 ships in port.
We went probably 20-25 minutes.
We went east about 20-25 minutes.
And so we saw a lot of Ketchikan stuff that I didn't even really realize it existed, that there was so much of Ketchikan, but it was.
That's right. We even saw the airport. We saw the Ketchikan airport. We learned a lot. We learned a ton of stuff. We learned so much on the whale watching tour. Had a bus driver and the naturalists on the whale watching boat were cool, awesome, fun people that put a ton of knowledge into our heads. The Ketchikan deal was fabulous. Again, younger kids. We met one of the kids driving went to AS. One kid, he went to an NAU, Levi. And then we met Spencer, who went to ASU, and Spencer both of them were working there. One was working for the summer. I think the other one might have been working for the summer too. We met a bunch of young people, 2 young people who had been, born and raised in Ketchikan, and it was just a very, very cool. I wonder if it was a heavy promotional travel agent crowd. Heidi, it wasn't, because there were probably only 100 people affiliated with the group from Sharon.
There was.
So that's the deal.
Yeah, there were travel agents, and then all the different vendors. Like I said, there was someone kind of representing the different cruise lines there.
If you've ever been on a work event, if you work for a corporate place and they have a sales meeting and you go somewhere and there's there's managers there and there's vendors showing their goods and talking into using their product.
Travel insurance agencies and different airline, vacation, things like there was someone from American Airline vacations, Delta vacations, just different things, trains, different, just a lot of different things.
I think you got some good information. Sharon came back from one thing and said, no, it was really actually enlightening, and it was actually pretty good. Let's see. I saw a question earlier about, no, we haven't been on Virgin. I heard they have very good food. I don't know if we'll be going on Virgin voyages. I'm not sure if that cruise is our jam, but we'll see what happens.
We didn't go on it before. Well, one reason was because it was adults only, and we usually cruise with the kids. But I don't know if it would be our thing or not. Yes.
What's up, Magnificent Germany with Darian? What's going on? You might be interested to know that I am currently working on our Berlin video, because right now we're talking a lot about Holland America because it's fresh in our mind. We just got off our first Holland America cruise 2 days ago, and just got home over the weekend. But before that, the cruise before that, we were on our European cruise on the Carnival Pride, the one that actually broke down. So that was exciting ending to our cruise. But we still have, if you guys are following along with that, we still have a number of videos.
More, I think.
Yeah, we still have a number of videos from each port that we visited there. We already got Copenhagen out. We did our day in Dover before the cruise, and the UK. So we got some of that coming out. So there's just a ton of stuff. So luckily, now that I've been freed up from the rigorous world of corporate employment, and I'm Sharon's newest intern, I will be getting out some regular videos, some regularly timed videos, and hopefully creating some new type of stuff and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of talk about maybe some cruises and some group cruises coming up. One thing, guys, just we want to remind you of a couple things, okay, if we can really quick. Number one, if you don't have anything planned, 2024, midsummer, there is a Sharonatsea Travel bucket list group cruise going to, speaking of the Netherlands earlier, where's my girls out there? It's going to Brussels, Belgium, Amsterdam, the Netherlands. It's going to Norway for 3 stops, Bergen, Geiranger, and Ålesund, if I'm saying any of that right. And then it's going to Iceland for 3 stops, ending up in Reykjavik, Iceland, where we get into Iceland at 1:30, and then we have the entire day and night until we debark at 7 the next morning.
Well,
which is very,
but there's 2 other stops in Iceland first. Too.
Yeah, before that. So we are doing that. Sharon does have the group there. It is on the Norwegian Prima, which is a ship where if you're traveling with your family, it may not be the greatest ship for you, but if it's just 2 of you, a couple or something like that, it could be great. We've got a number of cabins already booked for that. You know how many cabins off the top of your head?
Oh, I don't know.
Just shoot a random number.
There might be about 20, I think.
20 cabins going on that. And it's a great opportunity if you have ever thought about going to Europe, but you're like, I don't know. I don't want to go by myself. I'm a little nervous. Do I speak the language? How do I get around? After we just came back from our Europe trip, we feel a lot more comfortable going on the next one. A few people reached out to us, still remain nameless, but some friends of ours that we love cruising with has said, hey, listen, if you guys don't mind, we'd like to tag along a little till we get our feet under us as far as this whole Europe thing goes on. We're like, yeah, that's great, no sweat. So it's just going to be a great time.
So it should be good. And you know what? If anything happens and you're out of the country, we're all there together. We'll get back safe.
We'll bail you out or something or whatever. We'll hitch a ride. We'll get you an Uber to get back home. I don't know. Whatever we do, we'll do it. So we got that going on. So that's fantastic. And of course, if you're into it, we still have Celebrate Ringing in 2024. That's at the end of this year, December 30 of this year. We got our 8-day cruise from Long Beach, just going to Cabo San Lucas, La Paz, Mazatlan, and Puerto Vallarta. That's going to be hot fire. And of course, looking forward to next New Year's as well on the Norwegian Joy. Again, a West Coast cruise going to Mexico for New Year's, bringing in the New Year with friends, with family, and just partying our butts off. And that is going to be hot fire. So if any of those pique your interest, shoot Sharon an email. And of course, you've been hearing a lot about the Coop group cruise. I think just before we wrap up the show, we want to say this and make sure that everything's clear. The Coop Group Cruise is a ship show event. It is the ship show Coop Group Cruise. John and Larry, they're doing this thing. They're going to rock it. They're going to crush it. We've done a number of group cruises together, which has been amazing. But John wanted to throw this thing together for the Coop, for his followers, the people that he engages with, that he loves. So they are the hosts. Sharon is doing the booking. Okay, we are not necessarily a host. but we are looking to be hopefully on that cruise as passengers, as cruisers, as party goers, and be involved and have fun and have a blast. But I just want to be clear about that.
We're not booked right now.
A few people had a question about that.
We have to wait until we kind of see what's going on with some schedules a little closer. But we are hoping.
Yes. We've got a granddaughter that's going to be midway through high school. We've got Matthew, he's going to be knee deep in college. So we just need to iron out a few things before we lock in and commit to that. So we just want to clear the air on that. Make sure you guys were aware of that, so that you would know exactly what is going on. But Sharon is here. She's available. She's ready to book your group cruise for the ship show.
There's several people I know that are probably waiting for me to get back to them, and I should get back to you. You might get an email from me tonight, if not tomorrow for sure. Today I got through a few people, and then I had to work on a few other things that were waiting, since we were gone. So, but don't worry, there's still cabins, and I'll get you booked.
John is making comments. You are host. This is a slow letdown for the rooster. John, it's going to be, well, listen, first off, I mean, I'd be shocked if we weren't there, but we are not a guarantee and we are not a host of the cruise. So we just want to make sure you guys are aware of that. That's it.
Crazy
That's
Cat
it.
Travel said,
Hashtag Final Four. I know, John, you talked all about that amazing idea that I had on the live show. I heard.
Yeah, I think.
Nobody better
Crazy
steal
Cat
that.
Travel. Yeah, I think the spring break here is the week after that.
Yes, it's unique because the group cruise is going to be on the 1st, and that's the first week. But we think spring break is the second week, where we would usually cruise with the kids, and we just need to iron everything out and see what the plan is.
Roger Johnson says, for Coop and Elation, can we drive to your house and fly with you there? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, Roger returned to Elation. We also have a group cruise.
Yes.
Mentioned that we have never really officially announced it. We booked it and held cabins, but we have a group cruise in April of 2025 actually too, on the Elation. And we came across that when we were on the Spirit. A few of us were talking about how someone had heard somewhere that the Elation, that the last sailing in April was going to be the very last sailing on the Elation that is going to be gone. Now, I have not been able to confirm that. I haven't seen that anywhere. I'm not sure where they heard it, if it was on someone's video or what the case was, but I have not been able to totally confirm it. But when we heard that was a possibility, that was our very first cruise. That was someone else's very first cruise, a couple people's very first cruise. And it just was kind of a special thing. So we booked a group cruise on that. Just, I guess, either it's going to be the last cruise. If it's not, we're still going to have a great second time around.
Can you post some info in the Sharonatsea cruise?
But it's just it's only a 5-day cruise out of Jacksonville. So we're like, it's
I have an issue with the Jaguars. I don't know why you would book that.
So
I see the comments out there. And Jamie, if you don't go on the Coop, you need someone to take over that Final Four. That Final Four event that John mentioned on his live stream, I have copyrighted that. He stated clearly and on video that was my idea. That event will not take place if for any insane reason I am not on that Coop cruise. I just want you to know that event will be held over to another event. That is currently the property of Sharonatsea Travel. I just want to be clear on that. If anyone tries to steal it, we will have our lawyers contact you. The offices of Franciscone and Plaque will be in touch to lay down the hammer and the nail. So I just want to know that. Mike Shireen said, "Oh my God, is there a girls one? Is there a girls cruise, Sharon?"
Oh, not yet, but I will say, I know Nancy's here. Nancy and I have chatted a little bit about another girls cruise in 2025 as well. So that's another thing. We have not decided on anything for sure yet, or a ship and a sail date. So, but that is in the planning. So, maybe, I don't know, a few weeks, a month or so, something will come out on that. We just don't have it fully decided yet.
Yes, and Roger Johnson, you and Wendy are more than welcome to fly to drive out here, and then we can all fly together. Just make sure you bring some drink cards if it's on Southwest or something like that.
Oh my gosh, we still have our drink coupons for Southwest. We haven't had a chance to use them yet.
Sharon, you're not a big flight party person.
I don't like.
We get on a flight. I'm like, I think I'll get a drink. Sharon, you want to get something? A glass of wine? No, not really.
I don't like the
don't
drinks
really care
on
for that.
the airplane. I don't like the airplane drinks.
Oh, please stop it. They have wine and they have booze. What do you
I
need?
know,
You
but
just
they-
drink
I
and you
don't
get a
like
buzz
the
for the ride.
wine. I don't like the wine they have. And
Yeah, college spring break is different than K through 12. It can be,
Yeah.
Heidi. We're not sure, and that's what we're trying to. We need to confirm that. It basically
and
is what it boils
also,
down to.
we don't know if his spring break is the same as Callie's too. We'll see. I'll know more. I'll know how it falls in 2024, so I'll know more about 2025.
Listen, John's out there saying that there's no way the Francisconian plaque could beat Attic, Glickler, and Perlman. Attic, Glickler, and Perlman could not even get you home from Seattle, for crying out loud. Not even home from Seattle. We got home from Germany in 2 days thanks to the help of Francisconian plaque. When we got dropped off by Carnival in Kiel, Germany instead of the United Kingdom. It took you 5 days to get home from Seattle to Michigan, for crying out loud. Who are you going to trust? Word of advice, don't fly with John. Thank you, Kevin Brubaker. Cam Carter, what's up? I love seeing your comments on the YouTube channel. Thank you. Thanks for joining us here. We don't have anything booked for Virgin right yet. I think down the road, Sharon and I might choose to do that ourselves. I don't know if we'll do that with the kids. That's just our deal. I don't know if Virgin is our jam, but we're certainly looking forward to checking
Yeah,
them
we
out.
might try it one day. It's not on the top of our list though. There's
Yeah.
a couple other cruise lines that we haven't cruised on yet that we're hoping to get on, if not later this year, sometime early next year. We want to try MSC, also get on a Princess ship.
Yeah.
So
Vogan Painter, hope I'm saying that right. And if I am, congratulate me because I pronounce names right often. And if I say it wrong, correct me. Alcohol tastes a lot different to me on a plane. It can be. It definitely can be. But
Yeah.
but some, when every once in a while you ask for like an airplane bottle and then throw you that extra one. Remember that flight that person gave us all the free booze?
that's the only time that's happened.
That was
JP.
insane, though.
That
We made a
was
video
weird.
about that. If
Yeah,
you've
that
ever
was
seen
very
that video,
weird.
let me know in the comments. But we had a flight 2.5, 3 years ago from
It was-
Fort Lauderdale, from Miami or something like
It
that.
was right before the whole pandemic.
It was unbelievable. And we had a flight attendant who gave us so much alcohol.
He just brought it
He
to
was
us
giving
for no
us
reason.
bottles of wine. He gave me just handfuls of bourbon and scotch,
All the little
airplane bottles.
yeah.
It was unbelievable, and it was
Yeah.
all because I said thank you and I was nice to
Yeah.
him. It was crazy.
That's
It
and
was
he told us
crazy.
that too. He's like, no one's ever says thank you.
Crazy Cat Traveler 2026 will definitely be happening, but right now we can barely even get halfway through 2025 as we look at things later on in the year because things just aren't open yet. So we'll see. Ken Bruberger says, you fly with me, the booze is free-ish. Well, does that mean you're buying, or does that mean that you threaten to wear your off the chisel Speedo and they give you whatever you want so they don't have to see that? Which one is it, Kevin Brubaker? Vonnevi Vacation says, I've seen all the videos. Thanks, Vonnevi. We love you for that. We enjoyed MSC Meraviglia. Different vibe, but it was nice. See the World, Chris? Yeah, we definitely might want to check that out. We want to check it out. I mean, we've enjoyed branching out. Y'all know us. We spent many, many years on Carnival. We branched out to NCL. We've done a little Royal. I think we prefer NCL as our next best. Very much close to Carnival now. We've really enjoyed NCL, and then
Well, I like NCL.
and now we did Holland, and we
because
want to
it
branch
has a
out more.
Good, the food's pretty good, and well, it depends on the ship, but the food's pretty good. The entertainment's been great. I mean,
NCL Entertainment has been
Love
hot
the
fire.
entertainment.
It has been hot fire.
and it's just there's
Oh,
a
you know
lot
what?
of
Really, let's wrap up on
things
that
I like
note
to
for
do.
Holland America. So Holland America, we went to 2 different shows in the main theater, and the main theater is super, super cool. It's called the World Stage. It's like it's got a wraparound seating with the stage at in front, but comes out to the middle a little bit. It's got amazing digital. That's like a LED walls that wrap 3/4 of the way around the auditorium. It's very, very cool. And we saw 2 shows. We saw a show where they were singing. So they had one show where they just sang with a little dancing.
It wasn't really dancing; it was just a little movement. With
It was a little song and dance type of deal. It was very sterile.
yeah,
The singing was clean and good, but there was not a lot of heart, or there was every like let's say you went to church and they had a group of people singing and they all sang very, very well. That's the best thing I can relate it to. And the background music was very it wasn't anything great. They had background music. It wasn't like a live band playing. and it was really just, again, sterile versions of songs in the background. They were good, but it wasn't anything. Unfortunately, we've just heard much better on other cruise lines, or much more entertaining. But then all of a sudden, we went to the dance show thinking it'd be the same thing.
Oh,
it was not.
Yeah,
the dancers were unbelievable. The music was great and powerful. They used the digital screens behind them as part of the show. Did the singers use the digital screens much?
Not.
They might have had a little something on there, but not in the same way the dancers did. I don't really recall, but that was unbelievable. The dancers were best, some of the best, if not the best dancers. I think you said it in the like and dislike. So the best dancers you've ever seen on a cruise ship. So very odd. It was quite a different dynamic.
Deborah A. 1999 says, "Have you cruised or planned to cruise on Celebrity?" No, we haven't cruised Celebrity yet, but that's actually on our list of ships we want to try as well.
There's a big list.
Cruise lines.
Sugar, what's going on? Sugar says love NCL. So do we. We enjoy. I know a lot of people went on the Blogger cruise. They're like, the water, and I didn't get a refund for the port. I don't like their policy. All right, I get all that, but man, I'm telling you, we've had NCL Encore was unbelievable for us. We enjoyed the breakaway, and we're looking forward to doing it again.
Macrina says, "Are you booked on the Jubilee?" Not anymore. We were booked on the original inaugural cruise before it canceled. So we're not currently booked on it, but we are looking to go on the Jubilee in 2024. So we will probably be on there sometime in 2024.
Yes, Marilyn Dillon's looking forward to seeing 6 again on a couple weeks on the breakaway. We loved 6. I went into 6 being like, oh God, I do not want to watch this Broadway play. Oh God, it was friggin' awesome. It was awesome. I thought NCL was cutting back on their shows. Debbie, I don't know that they're cutting back. I think 1 or 2 of them they might have pulled. Maybe they're changing some of the bigger Broadway stuff. They have to pay out the yin yang to do. But I think they still have a Choir of Man on some ships. Excuse me, which I would love to see again. And we've seen a lot of other great shows on NCL, and I hope to see another amazing Rumors show at a Sid Norman's Poorhouse at some point in the future as well. Ship shows, yes, I know. Pal Cetera owns a Blogger cruise now. Yes, he does. The Blogger, bloggercruise.com. Don't go to that website.
Oh, God.
Or go there and say, who are you and why do you have this? Let's see. What do you learn tonight? Ship Show said, I learned that Sharon doesn't spice it up that much. No, you're not very spicy at times, Sharon.
I'm not.
The Johnsons will be on the Blitz for Halloween, and of course Joy for New Year's Eve, 24, 25. I'll be on Jubilee this New Year, says Scott McNeil. Scott, I'm sure you'll have a great time. Burn the Floor and Breakaway was the best dance show I've seen anywhere, said Dennis and Colleen R. Wait, Burn the Floor, was that the one where they were tap dance deal? Did we see that?
On, Region.
Yeah, did I see it?
They were good too, but
was that the one where they were tapping and then they were doing some other dancing, or am I thinking of the wrong thing? I don't know. Oh yeah,
I'm thinking of
Crazy Cat Travis said I was sad to see NCL pull Kinky Boots. Not sure why they brought in Beetlejuice instead.
Yeah, I noticed that the Vivas has Beetlejuice, but
Crazy Cat Travel, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm glad they pulled Kinky Boots. I saw that and I was like, oh, God, I couldn't wait for it to be over. I'm sorry,
when we saw the first time we saw Kinky Boots, we saw it with the other show on the same cruise we were on. They had Choir Man, so we saw Choir Man, which we loved, and then they had Kinky Boots. So it kind of, I didn't care for it as much because Choir Man was so.
Oh God, Choir Man was one of the greatest things that I've ever seen, and then Kinky Boots, I'm like, I don't know, I'm just not into. The boots weren't kinky enough for me, I guess. I'm not quite sure. It was like Dancing with the Stars, said Dennis and Colleen. For Burn the Floor. I don't know if I remember Burn the Floor. John said, yeah, that's the one. And then Ronnie, what's up, Ronnie, said Burning the Floor was amazing. I gotta go look at that and see. With Kinky Boots, wasn't that Louise the Naturalist? No, those are 2 different people, Retro Sarge. 2 totally different people. What did we learn tonight? Kevin Rubrick said, I learned that Jamie is organizing a union at Sharon's Travel headquarters. Footloose was also hard to watch, and they can both, though not a biggie for me, said Daniel Fields. I learned also that Sharon Sea Travel is having a very difficult time finding a good excuse to not book the Coop cruise. Well, I have given you given you the excuse. I have given you the excuse. It's not an excuse. If we say we're going to do a group cruise and host a group cruise, then we put all the time and effort into the date and the finding of it and all that kind of stuff. So it's just something where it's just like anybody else that, hey, we're going on a cruise in 2 years. Can you book it? We'll be like, yeah, I got to take a look. I just got to see. That's it. Settle down, babies. Settle down. Let's see. John's laughing at me now. Jamie's just being a contrarian like me now. I don't even know what that means, Wanda. So hopefully it's a nice comment and you're saying something nice about me.
What that means?
I don't know. Just going against the grain, being a hard nose. I get it. I learned that Jimmy likes to eat Sharon's cookies. Charles Hahn, you're right about that. And she yelled at me over and over again. Over and over again. I've seen Jersey Boys on NCL 2 times and once at the Paris in Vegas. Love that show and watch it again. So Crazy Cat Java says, so how many emails? Okay, well, you want to get into it? So how many emails about the Coop Cruise did Sharon get before John said wait till the 13th? I think it was about 6. Maybe 6 or 7. I learned that I have to say goodnight. Richard Zollner, good night to you, my friend.
Good night, Richard.
Contrarian Society of America, York is the founder. Oh, there you go. Well, you remember they did have that thing they did have drawing from doodles on Holland America. Did we miss anything on Holland America?
No.
Hold on. Okay, really quick. I know it sounds like we have a lot of negatives, but here's what we loved. We loved the cabin and our cabin steward. We loved it. We loved the room service and the 24 hours with almost all items included in the menu. We loved that it wasn't that crowded.
Yeah.
We loved the Pinnacle Grill. Nothing bad about it at all. We're just saying the service didn't blow us away, and we didn't find it any different than any other really good steakhouse. We ate at Le Bistro on NCL, just as good. We've eaten at Chops for lunch. Chops for lunch was amazing.
Le Bistro isn't
the real
steakhouse.
Chops. I know, but still, I'm just saying, we ate at Cagney's twice. Once it was equal to Pinnacle Grill. Once Cagney's was a bomb, but we won't get into that. Let's see. Best Caesar salad I've ever had. Okay, so that's important. Why are you pulling my paper away?
The best cookies.
The best cookies ever. Here's another great thing. In the buffet, it's very unique setting up in the buffet. I know we got to go soon, but we'll just wrap this up. There's still 214 people, so a few people might want to hear it. In the buffet, what they do is when you're done eating, they clean the table, they wipe it down, they put the silverware on the table. Then they put 2 drink cups on the table, like water glasses as well, which is weird because most people get their water in a cup and then they go to sit down. So these drink cups are always empty.
Well, they do walk around and they will bring, you don't have to fill your water. They will come and ask you if you want water, lemonade, or iced tea, and they will pour it for you if you want any of those.
Yes.
Or you can order a cocktail in the buffet.
Yes, so any of the people working, the number of times I was like, can I order a drink? And they're like, yeah, what's up? No problem. What do you need? And I said, okay, let me get a Miller Lite or whatever. And yes, sure. And I gave them my card. And then they left and then came back a little bit later. They would usually drop off the drink or someone would. And then a few minutes later, the person would come back with the card. Right when I started worrying about, like, where's my card? Who's got it? Am I ever getting it back? Then they would show up and give me the card back. I didn't see any chair hogs, but we really weren't. There wasn't a place for chair hogs. But the answer is no.
Yeah, there was a lot of open chairs.
Yeah. The answer is no. Monica Mayer says it's 5 a.m. Were you in Europe or something like that? What we learned tonight is Jamie says he ate shrimp cocktail, but we all know it was not. We also know that everyone needs to book the New Year's Eve cruise. That's right, John and Diamond. They do need that because there will be plenty of neat bourbon being consumed on the New Year's Eve cruise, and in many other ways as well. Let's see what else. Hold on, there was more stuff on here I was reading.
For the New Year's Eve cruise this year, we're looking at getting maybe an all-inclusive or some kind of day at in Mazatlan.
Oh, so that might be nice.
We're
okay, hold on. I wasn't
on that right.
We loved it. Was a totally. This is the first cruise we've ever had where we came home and didn't need a vacation. We were well rested. We were well relaxed, and we came home ready to. We came out of the gate strong, which is good. We needed to, and we did. I love the seating and in the covered pool area. I really love that area, and I really like the New York Deli and pizza. Whether or not it was the best pizza on the sea, Sharon will let you know that in her pizza review on our Embarkation Day video. But I can tell you this: multiple toppings on your pizza that if you wanted it, including, and I said it before on the Caesar salad, including anchovy, fresh raw anchovy, and that was unbelievable. Yes, those old people know how to vacation. It was relaxing. It really was. Let's see. What else do we have? I think that's everything we got. Sharon, did we cover all the bases?
I think so.
No, we didn't get a game of good canasta, but they did have mahjong.
Yeah, they
Was
had
it called
that.
mahjong?
Yeah, they were playing that in some of the what are they called?
In like the rooms, the meeting rooms, the conference rooms
downstairs. Yeah.
downstairs.
So they had that was like on the daily planner as an event. But when we walked by there a couple of times, they were getting ready to play, and there was literally maybe 3 people in there. So
Hold on, Howie Cruz just walked in and said, "Finally got off our call. What did we miss?" Brian and Julie, if you've been on that call, if you've been on that call the whole time trying to book a group cruise for somebody, I don't know what's happening over there. What were you doing for 2 hours for crying out loud? Unbelievable. Had this person ever cruised before? This is an outrage. This is an outrage. You missed everything, including we called your name for the cruise giveaway and you weren't here for it, so you missed the whole thing. He said it's a long story. I guess it is. It must be. AJ Englesby, I saw your comment earlier. What's going on, brother? I'm so sorry I didn't have a spot for you, but we talked a little bit about football. And by the way, football season's on. So Sharonatsea Travel Fantasy Football is up and running. We'll keep you updated on that. And I know the Tacotarians are trying to make a run after a disappointing first season last year. We'll see what happens. And yeah, Retro Sarge, come on the New Year's Eve cruise, bro. We'll have a great time. We'll have a great time.
it's I mean, the first year we did it, we found it was just such a fun way to spend New Year's, and you can hang out. You don't have to drive home from anywhere, and so it's been a.
That's right. And cruising for food, those guys know that I know it's pork roll and not Taylor ham, so don't even try to play that. Did you go to the dueling pianos on the ship? Christy Budgets for travel. Christy Budgets.
Yeah, we did, but
We did.
not for too long.
We did go by there. You have to watch our likes and dislikes video that we just put out yesterday. That tells the story. And unbelievable that I got a comment after we made that video, and I made a few comments about the rock walk and what I thought of it. So go watch the video if you want to know. And actually one of the gals who was one of the pianists in the piano bar, one of the two, the lady, she actually made a comment on the video, a very long, lengthy, intelligent, very pleasant, nice comment, just saying she appreciates the fact that I didn't love it, but everything we said was positive, kind words and everything, and that was just so nice, and I was blown away by that. So that was very cool. Thank you so much for that. All right, guys, that's it. That's a wrap. It's been an amazing night. We got a lot of content coming out, including more Europe stuff. We've got Holland America stuff. We've got other stuff. Keep an eye out for.
We made some other videos.
We made some other videos while we're on the cruise, as well as
random videos. So.
if you're into more stuff like what else is Sharon digging from Amazon, that's going to be coming up soon too. So, guys, from everyone here at Sharonatsea Travel, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for listening to us. Thanks for following. Thanks for loving us because we love you. And until next time, from us, from me, from Sharon, from Matthew, from Callie, from Lucy, from everybody here at Sharonatsea Travel.
We'll see you next week. We will be back next week.
We will be here next
gonna
week.
be home.
We're going to be here for a few weeks. So suck it up, Buttercup. You're stuck with us. How do you like them apples? And don't forget, come check us out. Iceland. Contact Sharon today. Bucket list cruise next summer. It is going to be unbelievable. Uh-oh. What are you doing to the dog, Sharon?
Lucy wanted to say goodbye. I was gonna.
Oh my gosh. She is not happy to be here.
Okay, sorry, Lucy.
Lucy's like, excuse me. I'm
Goodbye.
not down with that. Okay, that's it. We're done. Lucy's had enough. Guys, we love you, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and have a great week. All right? Have a great week.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.